Hello. Thank you for joining me again today. My name is Mr. B. I'm your lead translator, and as many of you may know, the 4.0 update has been released, and there are a lot of new features to be excited about. Today, I want to run through what's new with 4.0 and talk about the exciting features and items that come with the Battle Spirits collaboration. But before I get to the main event, I guess you can call it, I want to talk about the new skins that have been introduced with the Forbidden Pack. Why don't we start by jumping in to the shop menu. You can see here if you go to the Forbidden Pack, the summer skin is one of the additions to the game. This will come in two parts. The first is part A. This includes 5 characters: Ilietta, Fincera, Charlotte, Yorosuke, and Ash Claude. These are available right away, and with every pack that you receive, there is a set chance for you to also receive a summer skin. There is also a part B, which includes 4 more characters that will be released on July 13th. Those characters are Medilla, Nonoin, Lindo, and Hinaria. Now with the first 5, let's say you're having really bad luck and you're not able to get the skin with your Forbidden Packs. There is a cap to the number you can play before you get the skin guaranteed. That is 400 packs, but for part B, that number is lowered by 100 packs. So in your 300th pack, if you happen to not get the summer skin at that point, you will automatically be rewarded that skin. Now for those of you who use a codeman who is not one of these 9 characters, don't worry, your codeman's chance will come in a future pack. Why don't we take a look at one of these summer skins, since the codeman I'm using is Ilietta. There we go, and there you have it, the summer costume. I'm a big fan of this one. I really like the skirt that she has. Of course, you can take the time to admire your codeman's new outfit. Okay, now why don't we jump back into the shop and start going over what's included in the Battle Spirits collaboration. If we go to the Battle Spirits sticker exchange, we'll see that there are a number of different items available to exchange for stickers that you can receive a number of different ways, such as playing the new Gunslinger mode, quest mode, event mode, and even through login bonuses and missions. But the items I think you all will be the most interested in are the sleeves, the cards, and the titles. If you have a favorite Battle Spirits card, you'll be able to trade for sleeves for just 50 Battle Spirit stickers. The part I really like are the titles. These are all references to the Battle Spirits franchise. The one I chose for myself is Your Deck's Unbalanced, which I find to be infinitely amusing. For some of you, you may be looking for something that's a little bit more interactive, and we've got the perfect item for that. Let's talk about support gears. If I jump into the shop here, we can see in the video above, a support gear will allow you to have a new character take the place of your codeman on a number of screens like the home screen and help you in battle just like your codeman would. So the 2 characters here are Dan Bashin, or for those of you who are more privy to the Japanese language, Bashindan, and Mai Shinomiya. I'm going to set one of these characters to show you how it works. If I go back to the codeman menu, right under where I changed Ilietta's outfit, I can change my support gear. If we take a closer look, we can see that the model stays true to the character. Now that we've looked at some of the items that are used outside of battle, let's jump into the cards that come with the 4.0 update. The first thing I want to do is jump into deck collection and talk a little bit about how you may be able to either spice up your cards or use your cards efficiently to create the deck that you want. Right away, some of you may notice that I have a lot more cards than I need here. The thing I recommend you do with these cards is turn them into spirits. By turning these cards into spirits, you'll be able to get rid of the cards you don't need and replace them with cards that you really want for your deck. For me, I like to do it as quickly as possible. So you can press the break all excess cards button, and what happens is all of the cards you would never be able to use are automatically put into the break cards section. This means that every 4th, 5th, 6th, so on and so forth, of each card will be put into the break cards section so you can turn it into a spirit. Because in a deck, you can only use up to 3 of one type of card for the most part. You press this button, it gets rid of the cards you don't need, and now you have a lot of spirits, and you'll be able to create the cards that you want to create. Keep in mind that cards of different rarity cost a different amount of spirits. You'll want to carefully consider which cards you want to create. You can also take your excess cards and turn them into premium cards. Let's say you have Digger Golem. Click on Get Premium and you'll see 2 options. You can turn your cards into premium cards with premium chips or extra cards. If you have 9 copies, for example, you can take 7 of those copies and turn 1 of them into a premium card, which allows you to still have 3 copies of the card, with 1 of them having much more flair than the other 2. So you can show off while you battle. Okay, let's get to the part that I'm sure all of you have been waiting for. The new cards. If I jump into best decks here, you'll see that there are 9 new additions to the list. This list can help you whether you are a beginner or an expert. Each deck lists the play difficulty and the build difficulty. Now, play difficulty is pretty straightforward, but the build difficulty will help you decide which deck you can make. If a deck has a build difficulty of 1 star, for example, it is much easier to create that deck because it requires less legends, less epics. If you want to create a deck that has 3 stars, as you can see here, a lot more legends are required, in this case, 12. The decks I want to talk about are the Battle Spirits cards. Let's start with my Viole. When I looked at this deck, there was one specific card that really stood out to me that I thought this would be fun to use. That is the 7 Shogun Asmodeus. This minion's effect allows you to deal 300 BP to all of your opponent's minions and 1 damage to your opponent's life whenever one of your demon minions is destroyed. For those of you who have seen the introduction video to Red, Yellow, and Purple, I talked a lot about how you can get the most out of when destroyed effects. If you combine your when destroyed effects with your demons, this card will take you a long way. Let's look at the next one. That is the Moonlight Barone. For me, my eyes are on one specific card. That is the Winged Deity Grand Woden. This card, after receiving a boost from a core, just completely shuts down all of your opponent's magic cards. That's not all this deck can do. You can shut down magic, and there are cards for defense and offense. Let's look at the defensive option. If we look at the effect of Lunatic Strikeworm, we'll see that whenever our opponent's minions attack, this minion becomes active. That means you have a wall that can block infinitely. Now some of you might be thinking, okay, now what are the offensive options? Let's look at Strikeworm Leo. Whenever one of your BS or Hunter minions enters the rest state, you can rest 1 of your mana, and this minion will become active. This means if you attack in a specific order, you can get an overwhelming number of attacks on your opponent. So this is a very versatile deck.